Okay, we are back live here on our big broadcast. We are coast to coast, border to border on iHeartRadio today, and we have got some incredible guests with us today, and we are going to start things off with our good friends, DV Passion. They, of course, join us live here on our big program. They join us via the magic of the old Skype, the old Skype-a-rooney. And you guys are fantastic.
Thank you.
You guys are always, which I love your slogan, which is "Your nut is valuable." And
yes.
So
and your orgasm matters.
That's right. Every orgasm matters. So you guys are going to be part of Exotica coming up at the end of the month. We kick off in Chicago, Rosemont, Illinois. I always have to say Rosemont, Illinois, because it's not really Chicago, it's Rosemont, but that's fine. Mm-hmm. So what do you guys have planned for this year's Exotica?
Well, we super excited because as we love Chicago and we love coming to Chicago every year. Is we come faithfully, and Chicago is one of the big states that we like the audience participate with us in our class.
And I think they pretty much know us and are comfortable with us, but we're doing face sitting, of course.
So,
of course, we can't get rid of that class. So we definitely
we can't get rid of that class.
We can't.
Awesome.
We tried to switch up and do different classes, and they were like, "You can do the different class. However, we still want face sitting."
It's like our number one class.
And we're going to be doing Bay is Bisexual Now What's Next, which is my personal fave because I'm bringing my book to Chicago again this year, so I'm super excited. So my book will be there and people are able to reference my book to the class, which is even better.
That's awesome. That is pretty fantastic.
Yes.
So let's talk about the book. This book is phenomenal. Tell me a little bit about why you decided to put this book together.
Well, the book is called The Bi in Me, The Dichotomy of Lady V. The reason why I decided to create the book is because it's to tell my story. A lot of bisexual ladies, they deal with their sexuality and asexuality and don't really understand where it's coming from or how it started or even where these feelings are coming from. So I put my story, which was roughly built over a lot of my different relationships, finding love, my first girlfriend, having sex with a female for the first time. So, I put all of that into this book. And volume 2 is coming out. Hopefully by the end of this year, it will be released. And so everyone can put, both stories together. And volume 2 is more about my marriage after I got married and how we became sexperts. So, my first book it talked about I got real detailed, if that makes sense. I talked about me being molested. I spoke about me not having a relationship with my dad and how that made me feel. So it goes into just more than just the sex of bisexuality, but me being vulnerable and opening up about my trauma and things that I've dealt with in my past.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Thank you.
What are some of the lessons that you want folks to pull out of the book?
Well, one major lesson is be yourself. You can't expect anyone to accept you unless you accept yourself. And learning and loving all of yourself. Out of everything, every relationship I went through in the past, I came out knowing that I was still whole. I was still me. And no matter what, I was able to bounce back. So, from my book, I want people to just be themselves. Learn and love on you because you're the best you can be.
That's great. That is a fantastic way of thinking. So if you want to get more information, sexpertsdvpassion.com is the official website.
Yes.
And the book is available. They are also available on social media as well. So when you put this book together, What was your writing process like?
Hell.
A lot of tequila.
A lot of tequila. To be honest, it took me 8 years to write this book because the book, volume 1, is only half of the original book.
Oh, really?
So it took me 8 years to write it, edit it, and get it exactly the way I wanted it to be. And, you know, I would say within a year, the last year of when the book came out, I started getting a lot more serious because it's easy to write a story about someone else.
Yes.
It's harder to write it about yourself. And the reason why is because I want to try to be as detailed as possible, but as true to the story as possible. We changed around quite a bit to keep the privacy of other people. However, I wanted to get it as true to the story as possible. So that took a lot of energy, a lot of crying, a lot of deep places I had to go to in order to bring some of those remembrance back. So, you know, it was a process, but I'm so happy that I went through the process and still going it because I'm doing volume 2 now, but I'm happy I went through the process. And people are actually telling me, hey, I enjoyed your book. Hey, I can actually relate to your book. Hey, I grew up in church. I didn't know about this and, you know, my bisexuality, and I learned a lot. So it helped quite a few people. So I'm glad for the process.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Now, the book is getting all sorts of rave reviews. Tell me a little bit about some of the different reactions that you've been getting from the book.
Yeah, they've been well. First, a lot of people were shocked that I was a stripper. I don't know why they were shocked about me being a stripper. As crazy and freaky as I am, you should have known anything is possible. But
that's awesome.
But a lot of that was like the main shocker. A lot of people have said they can relate to dating certain people that I dated in the book. Like there's one of my favorite chapters is King and I. And King was I still keep in touch with him, but he was a pimp who was also a pastor.
Wow. Getting them from both ends, baby.
Yes.
That's
I was getting laid hands on and prayed for at the same time. But
wow.
But with that chapter, you know, I think that chapter showed me growing from being this teenage innocent girl, which wasn't innocent, but into now this adult, you know?
Yes.
So it's growing into me being the adult in the matter. So it kind of evolves. So a lot of people say, hey, I can relate to that. My first boyfriend was, you know, someone that I babysit for who was living in the same building. And, you know, a lot of people are like, oh, I remember that as a teenager talking to somebody that lived in the same building as me. So, it's, you know, I was just relating to my audience.
That's great.
And I pulled out the stories that meant the most to me. It's so much more that I could have put in and so much that I took out. But, you know, I put it so that it can relate to everyone.
Well, and that was going to be my next question. What were some of the things that you took out that you wished you would have kept in the book?
Geez. I would say, I'm trying to think. A lot of some of the relationships, or no, not even the relationship, the emotions that came with the relationships.
Yeah.
I think back then I wasn't as vocal as I am now. And I think back then I was with the book, I kind of pushed back from some of the hurt that I did, you know, that I went through with my mom, with my family. And because I didn't want to expose my family to that, you know, to that magnitude. I just wanted to make sure that I kept it as, you know, as I can, if that makes sense.
Yeah. That's great.
But some of it I do wish I was able to put back in, which I am going to do a third copy later on in the future, where it's going to be some of the stuff that I took out are going to be added back into the book.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So where can we get a copy of the book?
Oh, I'm glad you asked that question. You can go to Amazon. It's on Amazon Prime. If you just type in The Buy Me, you'll see my purple and black book with my face.
I love the hair, by the way.
My awesome
it's
husband
great.
made the cover for my book. You can actually contact me if you want a signed copy.
Wow.
I'll be at Exotica, of course. I'll be at Exotica, Chicago, Miami, New Jersey, and DC. We'll be having all of our classes for each city. And you can hit me up on Instagram, DV Passion, Twitter, or my Facebook, Lady V.
Fantastic.
Or my husband's Facebook. He'll get the message too. D back.
So give us the profile of the typical reader who's going to love your book.
Everyone. Everyone. If you like reading about sex, and if you like reading about love and relationships and just building, everyone. It's for everyone. It's not a particular person that I can say, hey, of course, bisexuals and ladies, everyone will relate to it. So anyone can get it.
That's awesome.
Like a nut,
That's awesome.
Anyone can get a nut.
Anybody can get it.
What
What were some of your expectations for the book?
Some of my expectations?
Yeah.
I would say to have my book in every household possible.
That's awesome.
I want this book to reach the stories, and I definitely would love to do a short film on my story, my life.
That's fantastic. That is fantastic. So, and I'm going to throw you for a loop here. I hope I don't. But name one entity that you feel supported you on this book outside of family members.
One entity. Outside of family members?
Yeah.
My editor?
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's good when you got the editor, because I've interviewed authors before and it's usually the other way, where the editor's this sucks, get rid of that.
My editor, and it was because my husband actually found my editor, and my husband was already on me. My kids were on me. My grandmother, before she passed away, God bless her soul, she was on me every single day. Like, Oprah need to get to your book. And so they were a part of my support system. My sister Tayomi, they were all a part of my support system. However, someone that's outside of my family will be my editor. She was getting on me. When we're going to get this book done? How long it's going to take? Did you read the chapter I sent over to you? So she was making sure I didn't slip up at all.
That's awesome.
That's always good to have.
So Dee, what did you think of the process of her putting this book together? Was it fun watching all that from the sidelines, or?
It was a roller coaster of emotions, because one minute it would be the joys of writing it, but then is going deep into her past. So it was dealing with that, dealing with watching her cry over stuff and kind of relive what she was going through as a young child. So it was good, but it was still in the same process. I had to be there for her emotionally, for that support, and also kind of, like she said earlier, push her to write, because it was like, I can't do this anymore. And it was like, she was like 10 seconds away from literally deleting the whole book. And I was like,
oh, wow.
Basically, you're going to read this whole book and no one's going to read it. You're not even going to let the kids read it. I'm like, you don't know how this book may impact somebody else's life. And I felt that at that time that you can't do that. That's kind of, your story is something that everybody needs to read.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So, I mean, and everybody's reading it. The reviews are good. So, I mean,
whoever. The reviews are amazing.
I've sold it to a few people at my job, and they're like, oh my God, when's book 2 coming out?
Yeah, we go to the post office. I go to the post office every week to send out books, and all of them got my book, and they were like, "Girl, when we waiting? I'm here trying to give you my money for the book.
I'm here trying to give you my money for the book."
Exactly.
Everybody's waiting on.
So it's coming. It's coming.
It's definitely a good read. So I mean, if you like she said, if you if you're a reader, if you're not a reader, if you want to give it to your brother, your sister,
read.
it's an easy read.
It's an easy read.
It's a short, easy read. You can finish the book in a day, day and a half.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. Well, you can get more information on our guests at sexpertsdvpassion.com. And so Dee, talk to me about what you guys what is a typical, when you first get into Exotica, like I'm assuming you're going to be coming in on a Wednesday or a Thursday. What is all this like?
Well, coming into Chicago is always like, oh wow, we're really here. So we may see Katie Morgan getting off the plane, or we'll see somebody at baggage claim, and it's like a big family reunion. So I mean, we check our bags in, go to the hotel, and whatnot.
We go over to the convention center.
Go to the convention center, set up, and literally we'll see everyone in just regular attire and whatever else, trying to set up and talk, and it's like a family reunion, and it's more of a how can I say, like a loving experience.
Yeah.
It's like, this is my brother, this is my sister. Yeah, you do porn or whatever else, but but at the end of the day, I can relate to you. And it's like, it's good seeing you. Like, wow, it's really good seeing you. We made it a whole year without seeing each other, and it's good to see you. So then to see the fans and everybody else is like, oh, snap.
And having people actually waiting for our class, like standing outside, waiting for our class. That right there, for anyone,
it's an adrenaline rush. It's
like, oh, y'all here for us? Like, wow.
It's a big adrenaline rush, because it's like, first you see like one, maybe two people come in, then all of a sudden you see like a whole flood of people coming in. It's like, oh wow, y'all here? So it's like,
this is what this trip is about.
And it's getting into character, getting into who you are as a sex educator. So we're there for them, but we also want to give them a little bit of us to take home with them, so they know that we are a relatable couple, and that you can do things a different way, or even spice up your sex life.
Yeah, and it's fun because you see people say, hey, my orgasm matters.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So it's definitely an amazing experience.
So when you guys, you guys get into Chicago, what is the Sunday and the Monday like then, after all this is over?
It's deprogramming.
Yeah, Sunday is more networking. Yeah. Sunday we kind of network.
We walk around. We get a chance to walk around.
Talk a little bit more to the vendors, kind of give out business cards, kind of try to strategize what our next move is going to be with a company or whatever else. But that Monday is totally getting things ready, going back to the hotel, getting your stuff packed, seeing people leave, seeing you in Miami.
And
then
see
you when I see you, or whatever.
Preparing to be mommy and daddy.
Yeah, it's back to it's like, once we get on the plane and reach Atlanta, it's like,
we're back to normal.
And that Monday's school, so we'll hear about what went on. Well, wait.
No.
Monday's school. Yeah.
That's awesome. Tell me a little bit about where you see, Exotica going this year. You guys are going to be at this Chicago one. There's all sorts of different things happening, so.
Yes. Well, first I just saw Kimmy. Hey.
Yes, Kimmy is going to be with us here in just a few. So.
I miss you.
She is.
I'm sorry. I had to get out of character.
No. You're good. I'm a huge fan of Kimmy Kaboom too. So.
I totally love Kimmy. And Kimmy, hey, I will see you in Chicago.
Hey, y'all want some coffee?
This is okay. So this is how it is with us. As soon as we see each other, someone that we know, we automatic is hey. But yes, at Exotica, I think I'm excited. Every year is better than the year before.
Yeah, I think last year, because of the COVID protocols, they still have COVID protocols, but
now
I think this year is a little bit more enjoyable. It's going to be a little bit more relaxed. So it's definitely going to be more stuff going on. A lot of excitement, a lot of
hugs. Hugs and booty rubs.
Yeah. That's awesome. That's awesome. So I've got to have you take us through the face sitting seminar. I know that there is a lot of folks that are new to the program that don't have any clue what we were talking about earlier. So take us through this whole thing.
Well, face sitting is our favorite, yes, because a lot of people deal with certain things. I know a lot of plus size ladies aren't confident in sitting and, understanding how their body really works when you're in certain positions. So we give them a roller coaster.
Trying to give them a visual of how you can sit on somebody's face and be comfortable.
Yeah, and give them demo.
Yeah, demo. So we do the up north position, which is
going towards the front, and you're engaged in eye contact. So it's more, we teach them positions that's going to enhance your orgasm, as well as give you leverage. Like I deal with sciatica and endometriosis. So with sciatica, the arms, the legs, the back is, you gotta have a nice layer to be in that position of sitting on someone's face. So a lot of our positions are catered to plus size females, are catered to anyone, but plus size as well, where they can be up there for a good 30 minutes and don't have to worry about getting off.
And also, it's also the power exchange between the sitter and the city. So it's you can be as dominant as you want, or you can be as submissive as you want. It all depends on what role or what you're trying to go for in that particular moment.
That's great. And you guys have them lined out the door for this thing.
Yes.
Good
this
Lord.
Is what it's about, baby. Everybody, like I said, everybody deserves an orgasm,
Happy
baby.
Faces.
Happy faces.
Happy faces. That's fantastic.
Happy faces.
That is fantastic. Well, you guys have been fantastic as always. I always look forward to seeing you in Chicago. This year, I'm toying with the idea of bringing my giant Mexican sombrero to the event to wear.
Yes.
But
do it.
It's probably just one more thing that Brittany will have to pack in the car. So
Do it.
Please tell Brittany we love her and can't wait to see her.
Yes. I will see her a little bit later today, so I will pass that along. Well, you guys are fantastic. I am going to get to Kimmy Kaboom, and thank you for joining us today, guys.
No problem. Thank you. Love you. See you in Chicago, baby.
I want to see hugs and kisses when I get there.
Hugs and kisses. Yes.
Booty hugs.
Love hugs and booty rubs. See y'all later.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.
Bye-bye.